Welcome back to this edition of Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Lauren Baker, filling in for Mike Scott, and we are back with the lovely Ann Biggs, who's here to share her story, the Swan Garden, with us. It's right here next to me. It's a very beautiful cover, and we're excited to hear all about it. So, welcome.
Thank you. The Swan Garden is historical fiction. It's about Ireland in the 1950s, the mother-baby homes, and the Magdalen laundries.
Ooh.
And this came about because I was born in a mother-baby home, and it took me 25 years to find out the history of what my mother experienced and what she went through, and it took me 25 years to find her. And in 2008, after a couple of disappointments, I was able to find her in Dublin, and after meeting her, she told me her story, she told me everything that happened to her, and I knew that I had to write about it. But I also knew I had to protect her. So I spent 5 years researching everything I could about the laundries, the homes, Ireland's history, the government, and I came up with my version of what life may have been like in one of those places, and how life goes on after you give up a child, or after a child is taken from you.
Oh, can you explain for our viewers what a mother-baby home is?
A mother-baby home is, well, they have them all over the world. United States has had them, Italy has them, France. But in Ireland, if a girl gets in trouble, if she has a baby out of wedlock, the church is very active, and so they want to protect, in their words, they want to protect the girl, they want to protect the family. And so it's a place where the girl goes until she has her baby. And then the family is charged 90 pounds, and after the baby's delivered, then the family is to pay the 90 pounds. If they don't pay the 90 pounds, then they are sent off to work off that debt. And where they are sent is the Magdalen laundries.
Oh.
And my mother denied that she was ever there, but within the timeline, there's 3 years missing. And so they have to work off the debt there. They work from 12 to 16 hours. Their name is taken from them. All their personal belongings are taken from them. It's basically a debtor's prison.
Wow.
And the only way they can be released is by the parish priest or a male adult family member. So the mother can't come and say, "I want my daughter back." It has to be a male.
Wow.
And so I don't know if you're familiar with Philomena.
A little bit, yeah.
That was out a couple of years ago. They turned it into a movie. She was in a different place. She was at Sean Ross Abbey, which was a different home, and they have about 9 of them all around Ireland.
Wow.
So after I learned about this and what she did, I knew I had to write it.
It's amazing. How long did it take you to write?
I started searching for her in 1985. And so I kept the copies of my letters, I kept journals as I was doing this, just the anticipation of the letters coming. And for the first 3 years, I either didn't get a response, or everyone who wrote back said, "I can't help you." And then finally in 1988, started getting some responses. And then in 1990, I went over to Dublin. They had found her, but she wouldn't see me. And so I came home empty-handed, and then kind of let it go, and so I got a life here, I need to go on with it. And then in around 2004 we started looking again online, and we found a website that was genealogy, and started putting pieces together, and I'm not going to betray any names, but started putting things together. And then in 2008 we booked another trip, and my daughter and I went over and found her and met her, and spent some time with her.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So I felt a need to tell her story. And then the media, social media now on Facebook, there's so many groups that you can join, and you can tell your story too, and they can tell their stories. And so as a result of that, I've been invited. We're leaving next Thursday back to Ireland, and we'll be at the Sean Ross Abbey Remembrance, and we'll be presenting our book to Philomena Lee. So I'm very excited about that, and it's going to be an amazing trip.
Absolutely.
So the book will go full circle. It will go back home.
Yes, and I know that you said this is the first book, and we were talking off camera about how there could be more.
I am working on a memoir, which is my story of my search for her, what I went through with the letters, going over there the first time and not being able to see her, the disappointment, and then going and being able to meet her and talk to her and have my daughter with her. And so that's the memoir. That's my story. And then I have outlined a sequel, about 17 chapters. And it's going to be, because right now, in real life, she has not told her family, so they don't know about me.
Oh.
We weren't allowed in the house. She wouldn't meet us in Dublin. We met at a fishing village outside of Dublin. And so the sequel will come full circle to find a way for the daughters to know. So that's what the sequel will be.
That's amazing.
So
I can't wait to hear more about it.
yeah, me too.
How can people get a copy of this book if they're
This is
interested?
available. It's available at a book barn. HBE Publishing is my publishing company, and Dan Dunkley is the owner of both a book barn and HBE Publishing. It is at Barnes & Noble. It is at Petunia's Place, and it is on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
That's awesome.
And then I have a website that it can be connected through there, and you learn a lot about the history of it and pictures and everything with the website.
That's perfect. Well, we're here again with Ann Biggs, and her book is The Swan Garden. If you're interested, it's at Barnes & Noble. You can get it online. Thank you so much for being here, Ann. It was a pleasure talking with you, and so fascinating, too. Thank you for sharing that kind of a story with everyone in that way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back on Central Valley Business with more artists and authors today, right here on Central Valley Talk.